Max Verstappen, the four-time world champion who's been carrying the entire team on his shoulders, might soon see his name plastered across the official team title, not as a driver, but as part of the actual team name itself. Something like Max Bull Racing or Team Verstappen by Red Bull. This isn't just unprecedented. It's a nuclear option that shows just how terrified Red Bull has become of losing their golden boy. Picture this. 74% of Red Bull's points in 2024 came from one man. That's not a team. That's a one-man army wearing a team uniform. While Sergio Perez and the other Red Bull drivers managed to scrape together just 7 points combined, Verstappen single-handedly kept the Austrian squad from complete embarrassment. Now imagine that same driver threatening to walk away, and suddenly Red Bull's panic makes perfect sense. The timing couldn't be more dramatic. Christian Horner, the man who'd been at the helm since Red Bull's glory days began, just got shown the door. Adrian Newey, the genius who crafted their championship-winning machines, already packed his bags. Jonathan Wheatley and Rob Marshall followed suit. It's like watching the Avengers disband, except this time there's no dramatic reunion planned. The Austrian shareholders, now holding the majority stake, are scrambling to stop the bleeding. And their solution? Give Max whatever he wants, including something no driver in Formula One history has ever been offered. The desperation becomes even clearer when you look at what's happening behind closed doors. That secret meeting between Verstappen and Toto Wolff in Sardinia wasn't just a casual chat between rivals. Mercedes is circling like a shark smelling blood in the water. And they're offering Max something Red Bull can't: stability. While Red Bull tears itself apart from the inside, Mercedes is quietly building their 2026 Challenger with the confidence of a team that knows exactly where it's heading. Think about what this means for the sport's power dynamics. Ferrari never offered to rename themselves for Michael Schumacher during his dominant years. Mercedes didn't become Team Hamilton despite Lewis's 7 championships. These teams understood something fundamental. No driver, no matter how talented, should be bigger than the institution itself. Red Bull seems ready to throw that wisdom out the window, and the consequences could be catastrophic. The technical exodus has left Red Bull in shambles. Pierre Wacht and Enrico Balba, Horner's trusted lieutenants, inherited a poisoned chalice when they took over technical leadership. The car that once dominated every weekend now struggles to understand its own upgrades. We've seen the return of Mad Max, not the championship-winning machine, but the frustrated driver who knows his equipment is failing him. Strategy calls that once seemed telepathic now look like they're being made by throwing darts at a board blindfolded. Here's where it gets really interesting. Red Bull is entering the 2026 regulation changes as engine manufacturers for the first time, partnering with Ford. They're essentially rookies in the power unit game, going up against Mercedes, Ferrari, and Renault, teams with decades of engine-building experience. Asking Verstappen to stick around for what could be a painful learning curve is like asking a master chef to cook in a kitchen that's still being built. The numbers tell a brutal story. That $500 million Oracle sponsorship deal from 2022 was supposed to secure Red Bull's financial future and technological edge. Oracle's cloud infrastructure was meant to revolutionize their race strategies and development. Instead, they're watching their competitive advantage evaporate faster than fuel in a Formula One engine. The irony is palpable. All that computing power, and they still can't figure out why their upgrades keep making the car slower. Despite a $500 million Oracle deal, Red Bull's data-driven advantage is slipping through their fingers. The 2026 regulations will reset the playing field. And historically, new engine manufacturers struggle for years before finding their feet. Asking Verstappen to endure potentially years of mediocrity while they learn the ropes. That's a tough sell for a driver who's tasted nothing but victory champagne for 4 straight years. The human element gets lost in all this corporate maneuvering. Verstappen recently became a father, a life change that often shifts a driver's perspective on risk and career longevity. He's repeatedly stated he has no intention of racing into his 30s like Hamilton or Fernando Alonso. Yet here's Red Bull trying to lock him down with naming rights and unprecedented power, essentially attempting to make it impossible for him to leave. The parallels to football are striking. When Paris Saint-Germain built their team around Neymar and Mbappe, giving them influence beyond their playing roles, it created a toxic environment where player power exceeded coaching authority. Red Bull seems determined to repeat this mistake, forgetting that Formula One's greatest teams succeeded by maintaining clear hierarchies and roles. 7 points from non-Verstappen drivers all season. Let that sink in. Red Bull's second seat has become a revolving door of shattered confidence and unfulfilled potential. While Max extracts every tenth from the RB21, his teammates look like they're driving a completely different car. This isn't just a talent gap. It's a chasm that reveals deeper issues within the team's ability to develop a car that more than one driver can handle. As the Austrian shareholders contemplate their next move, they face an impossible choice. Give Verstappen unprecedented power and risk creating a monster that eventually devours the team, or watch their only championship hope drive off into the sunset, probably wearing silver. Either path leads to fundamental changes in how Red Bull racing operates, and neither guarantees success. The sport watches with morbid fascination as one of its most successful partnerships teeters on the edge. Red Bull's offer to include Verstappen's name in their team title isn't just desperate. It's an admission that they've lost the plot. In trying to solve one problem, they're creating 5 more, each more complex than the last. The question isn't whether this move will keep Verstappen. It's whether Red Bull will still recognize themselves when the dust settles.